fair. Hey, everybody, welcome to bonus content. I'm sorry I didn't ask you guys if you were ready. I can put us back not live, and then we can figure that out if you want. But I think let's just roll into it. I talked to Nabishin earlier this week, and I want to talk about Evangelion because that's what everyone is talking about. Scott, Tony, I don't know if you guys are aware, they put Evangelion on Netflix, and now like everybody's watching Evangelion. It's cool again to like it.
I don't know. I just don't like Evangelion in general. So
I see. Here's the thing. I don't either.
Yeah.
So I'm like
I
totally
think it's
with
pretty
you. subpar,
to be honest.
I
Yep.
would say I actively dislike it in many ways. And Nabishin, I don't know, you have your own relationship with the show, but I think that's part of the reason why you wanted to bring it up.
All right, Nintendo conference in total, 4 sick jumps.
4 sick jumps.
Excuse
So
me.
there's
We need
one
to,
in the very beginning.
We need
and
to
then
review the
other
sick
ones
jumps.
are all at the end.
Scott's been doing it all day, and he's been walking me through it. You could have been here, Tony, but you're watching a fucking championship.
The ones at the end, there's like 2 Mario ones where he's doing a jump on a motorcycle, and then he bounces off 2 people and lands on a ramp.
That's sick.
In like a 2D section. So he cleared almost an entire section using a bounce. I'd say that counts.
Nabishin's please.
There's
somewhere
the one from the Tales. What is it? Tale of some. It's the new
Tales of Arise.
Kind of looks like Conker's Bad. People confuse it for Conker's Bad for a Day, but it's a 3D platformer.
Super Lucky Tale.
Super Lucky
There you
Tale.
go.
Yeah.
Super Lucky. So he jumps. He does something similar. He clears a box, kills an enemy, then dive bombs onto another one, and then you see him land.
That's a sick jump.
Or you get very close to seeing him land, but I'm gonna count that one. And then there is a narrow escape from a traditional Mario one at the end too.
All right. See, this is what I'm talking about. It's thought through. It's objective. Scott is an objective. He doesn't even know who bet what. We're just going for it. Okay.
So yeah, and then for the Pedro one, it's fair to say nearly all of his jumps are sick jumps, simply because if you count every time he does a short hop as a jump, then it's closer to half.
Mm-hmm.
But every time he's actually in the air, yeah, he's doing some crazy shit and killing people.
There's your vindication, Nabishin. That happened while you were away earlier, and I wanted you to hear.
That's fine.
So we can count that as 1 or as 6. And then right before that, there was also.
It's a big difference. I'm just saying. It's 1 or 6.
He said to count it as 1, but like when you go through it, I counted 6.
If you're going frame by frame here, Scott, I'll trust you. This is for like literally people who listen to last week's podcast. We're just picking up right where we left off.
And then for the Devolver conference as well, there is a
Messenger
sword slashy game.
Yeah,
I forget what it's called already.
The Messenger.
Yeah, he does about 2.
Yeah. Okay, you can continue your sick quest, Scott, but let's talk about Evangelion.
I'm just saying, like, I understand why people thought Microsoft dropped the ball. Like, 0 sick.
Not enough sick jumps is what it was missing the whole time. Honestly, it might have had something to do with it. Nabishin, how do you feel?
We fucking got denied when Chief jumped out of the plane.
About everyone talking about Evangelion, because you had some feelings on it. I'm here to hear them.
Like, I mean, like, it's one of those things where it's like, it's kind of like when like a new Star Wars comes out or something like that, or a new trailer for Star Wars comes out, and it's like everyone's just talking about it, and it's like for me personally, and like I'm not trying to hate on anybody's like lover or anything like that, but like it's like one of those obnoxious things. It's just like, because like it's not like I don't see any negativity about it or negative, like critical opinions, I should say, not negativity about like Evangelion, but it's but it's mostly like people just like, oh man, this is so cool, it's so fresh, it's so new, and it's just like I don't know, it bugs me. Mm-hmm. But like you know, like I don't want to stop people's joy, so that's why I don't really say anything about it. And also like for the time when I did watch Evangelion, like I thought it was okay. Like I enjoyed it for what it was, and like because I was in my own bubble, I didn't have really much else to think about. It was like even for the time when I watched it, like which was like probably late 2000s, not late 2000s, like early 2000s was when I first watched it, because I remember like renting it to go actually see it because like everyone talked about it. I thought everything about it looked cool. I thought everything looks really cool. Like I just like thought the characters were like mostly just like not that great.
Yeah.
Like I liked Ray until I didn't like Ray pretty much.
Yeah.
Asuka's like Asuka's like whatever. Like I like Asuka.
So true.
I mean, I like her, but it's like, like you can just tell that she's playing the trope, and that's all she really is, and like that sucks for her, honestly. And like Shinji doesn't even need to be said as far as like how I feel about him.
There's so many people that love Shinji, and I just don't.
Here's the thing, Shinji sucks.
Shinji sucks, dude. I'm sorry, Nabashin. You said you didn't want to say it. Tony, I just said it, but anyway.
I'll say it.
I'll say it too. Let's make some enemies today, Tony.
That's the other thing about it is like his best defense is that compared to everybody else, he's not that bad in the show.
I disagree.
I guess there are characters that I don't like more than Shinji. I didn't know that we were all kind of on the same page. I expected someone here to like. I mean, you said it really well, Nabashin, of like, it's cool to see all these people kind of coming to it the first time. I still never want to watch this show again, but I'm glad that I did watch it. I think that was like generally what you said.
Basically.
Yeah, I can get behind that. I don't know. It's just
it's most other shows do it better, and there's several others that came first.
I think so too, and like I don't know. I guess I don't understand why Evangelion is so popular, and I don't want that to be like construed as like I don't like it personally, but I don't mean that in a way of like it doesn't deserve to be popular. Sure, like whatever, everything can be popular. I just don't know like what the thing about it was that kind of elevated it to that cult classic level, I guess.
I think it was like definitely the animation for the time. Like it still holds up even today, I feel. And like I guess for the time it did like some mental issue stuff more than like most animes did at the time.
Okay.
But my main argument for like me not liking Evangelion is like basically how it ends, and I know it's just fucking like it's the journey, not the ending, but like
I think the journey's not that great either, to be fair. But
but like the end of Evangelion fucking sucks. I generally just like hate that movie. Like immediately I hate that movie. Like it's so bad for me personally, and like this like you kill off my favorite character, like all this stuff, man. It's just like I can't deal with it. I don't know if you've ever seen it, Alex. So like
I don't think I've ever seen the ending, like a movie ending, like some like Full Metal Alchemists type shit where it's like the epilogue. Is that what we're talking about? Like that level of
like it like no, because like swear I guess we say like basically it's like because you like the series ended like in a weird way, like we're just like pretty much like a clip show. I think that was like the last episode was pretty much just a clip show.
It's an Animal really House ending for Evangelion, where it's like, and then Shinji went on to be a successful professor.
But then like the end of Evangelion came out, and that pretty much like shows off the ending of that movie. And like I've seen it before, but like God, it's like there's so much happens in that movie. It's insane. And like immediately, the very first scene in that movie is Asuka's like comatose, like laying on the bed, just like getting an IV or something like that. And like Shinji's like above her, just like saying like Asuka, you should wake up or something like that. And like you should wake up, like I can't do this alone. Wake up. He shakes her, and then like when he shakes her, like her shirt opens, so her breasts are showing. And then like Then we have a scene.
Is this the infamous jerk off scene?
Basically, yeah, like the door's closing, you just hear Shinji breathing, and then and then
it cuts to black.
And then it cuts to his hand, is like with jizz on it, and
Jesus,
and it's like, and then he just says, and he says, "I'm so fucked up," and then then they just start the movie right after that. It's like, this is how you start your movie. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff in that movie that's like just weird and off-putting, and like you get the whole Rey backstory, how like she's just a clone of Shinji's mom, and this, and then like this whole symbolism with everyone, literally everyone in the planet dying, and it's just Shinji and Asuka at the end, and I guess they're supposed to be the new Adam and Eve. It's so weird, dude.
That is super. I didn't know any of that. That is super weird. Yeah, like that.
It's a fucking trip, man.
It makes me less happy. It just makes me upset more. I don't know. Yeah.
And then you have people praising it.
Yeah, and then everybody loves it. Yeah, I don't know. I just I feel like when I first jumped into, and to be fair, this was like over 10 years ago when I first watched Evangelion or whatever. But I don't know. I just thought, just man, why is everybody so awful?
You watched it before Much?
Oh yeah. I watched the original show, but I never finished it. But I watched maybe the first 13 episodes. I watched a lot of it because I think that was in the Adult Swim rotation, right? So
no, it was never on.
It was never on Adult Swim. I was watching it somewhere on TV. I'm trying to think where. I'll probably
if you had satellite or something like that. I think it was on an anime network or something.
Ooh, yes, that's exactly where it was. Good pull, Nubs. Good early odds pull. And I was not the target demographic. I was definitely a little young for it. I was early teenage years, but which I guess maybe was the target demographic, but one that was more cognizant than me because I was a stupid 13-year-old kid. But yeah, I just I thought everybody seemed miserable and no one had any redeeming qualities. I think the only connection I had with, and I think that they did well, was the human struggle, the us as a people fighting back against something so unendingly awful, and us kind of vibing together, and the struggle of the pressure of being kind of the only person that can do this. I think those are the things that I connected with, but it was how they went about doing it, and how they portrayed the characters, all that stuff. That was so bad. I thought it just or it wasn't. I didn't think it was bad at the time. I was just I do not like this, and it makes me sad and miserable. So when people say they're jumping into it and just starting to watch the first handful of episodes and they love it, I'm I have no idea what there is to love. And I know I hate to sound like this. Everyone knows I hate talking so negatively about something, but I see next to no redeeming qualities in Evangelion.
Well, that's really the whole point too. Is through everything, I haven't found a good argument to like it.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
It's when they say, "Oh, they did something new and original," and it did the flat answers. I'm sorry, but I'm pretty sure Gundam was first.
Mm-hmm. I think
double checking the dates right now.
There's a difference between a Gundam and an angel.
Yeah,
there's a big difference between
they wear Nike,
a Gundam and an angel, but they're also both giant mechs.
Yeah, I mean, but I liked the organicness of the angels. I thought that was kind of cool. And they're
not called they're Avas, right?
Avas,
yes.
Angels are the enemy ones.
Right.
The weird fluid that fills up the room, and it kind of organically connecting to your body like a symbiote. I thought that was cool. Kind of to what you said, Namashin. There was really cool art and animation in it, but
that is a point that I haven't heard before though.
Yeah.
And that I can give to people.
That's not what people are talking about. That
being
right
one
now,
of the best animated, having some of the best art and animation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll hear that out. Tony, I didn't know you didn't like Evangelion.
Yeah, I tried to watch it and just didn't like it.
Mm-hmm. Where'd you? Are you in a similar boat of the characters or what ruined it for you? Is there something else?
like the whole package.
Yeah.
It's not as good as G Gundam, you know.
G Gundam. No. Bring back G Gundam. That's what we're saying. I will say,
Please, I need my burning finger.
I. God damn. I watched the movie. So they did like re-release movies. This is what I watched from UpX. I watched these with Greg. I would say I liked those more than the original Evangelion, but like all of my, and you can, I don't know if you can dig up those old podcasts or whatever, but and hear me kind of talk about it. It's a similar thing, and like Nep, who the other co-host on that show, he was like in a similar boat of like he loved G Gundam, like he grew up with it, he connected with it a lot. Greg loves G Gundam. He loves Shinji specifically as a character. And his relationship with his dad, which were like literally my least favorite things about that show. But like, I think there's
Gundam was way earlier from what I'm reading.
Was it G Gundam?
No, Gundam itself.
I mean, yeah, Gundam as a whole.
Gundam's like 80s.
Yeah, it's old as shit.
Earlier than that.
Is it?
What I was reading was in the 1970s.
Jesus.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, Evangelion was at the very least 20 years later, 1990s.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like maybe that's what worked for Evangelion, right? It was like taking the concepts of like some of these older anime at the time, and I know like it's not to say like Gundam doesn't have like more fresher takes of itself, but like repackaging them in a way that was really weird and really different at the time. And maybe that's what people connected with. Because mechs are cool, I want everybody to have a mech that they like, a mech anime. I just don't want it to be Evangelion. I mean, I'll say this, unless you want to chime in here, Nabishin.
Yeah, I do just want to like get like say some positive.
Well, that's the other thing too. It's like I can't really get behind it being weird either, because in this case, being pieces of shit is synonymous with being weird. Like, you can't break the two apart.
Yeah, I mean, but like you can, I don't know.
In that specific case.
Yeah.
And like, as far as being weird and out there goes, like, you can easily break those two apart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We got people in the chat that are agreeing with us. So just to be clear, we're speaking to the right audience. All the people who don't like Evangelion, come listen to Irrational Passions podcast. You're safe here. Sound hip in the chat says
like, we're fine with other people liking it.
Yeah, that's fine.
But there's a lot of things that when people try to, I would say, defend themselves, and I mean, like, you really don't need to here. We might not like it, but we really don't care.
Yeah.
Just when you defend it, don't tell us things that are kind of just not true.
Sound hip.
Like, there's a very good argument for all of the things that we've covered to just not be true.
Yeah.
You can get into the specifics of it, and it can be those things to you, and that's more fair.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time,
Scott's not here for it. Soundhip says that they could never get into Evangelion. Nicole Humphrey says that she never liked it. And she's glad to hear that she's not the only one. So yes, at least two people out there. Nabishin, what were you gonna say? Give me some positives.
But like basically what I was gonna say, like because I lost my train of thought. Sorry.
It's okay.
But like I it's not like I don't get it, because I do get it, and I understand. When people look at that show and think about that show now, that it's like is more about like a psychological thing more than it's like the show itself. Like Max Scoville like loves that show, and he loves that show because when the author was or when they were making that anime, the creator was having like a nervous breakdown, and that's basically what Evangelion is. And he says that, and like you can see that through that art, and he loves that art because of that, and like I totally get that. So like and also want to also shout out like Masato being like the only like human character, like literally like a human in that show for me personally. Like I feel like he's the most rounded, the most, I guess you would even say normal, but like normal is hard to even say, but like But like as far as like a character, I think Misato is like the best thing about that show.
There's an anime I think about a lot when I think about Evangelion, and I might have watched them around the same time. That's why it's Blue Gender. I know. Like, I feel like Nabishin, you're the only other human I know that knows about this show.
I know about it. I never watched it.
You've never watched it? Okay. I've watched it like through twice just because it was on, right? But that's another one that's like this kind of, I don't know if it's an alien race or I think it might be like bugs that people experimented with and turned into giant monsters that kill people. And then have like basically taken over the world. Not as like a collective group, but as like they are the dominant species and humans have to kind of live in fear of them. But like insurmountable odds, weird space stuff, taking back Earth, taking back humanity. I think Blue Gender with them like a kind of male and female lead that are like of very damaged backgrounds. Like I think Blue Gender takes a crack at that through like it's not a mech anime, obviously, but there are probably mechs in it actually at the end. But that's not what it's about, and I think like that for me at least did it a lot better. I don't know if like that show holds up at all. But I think like the biggest thing with a lot of stories that I connect to is just like the characters, and I just couldn't connect to any characters on Evangelion. So I think that might have been just where I broke apart with it. But yeah, I that's a good point to bring up too. Of like I forgot about the whole kind of what was happening making that show and what it reflects. I think like if there was more for me to connect with there, and maybe if it was something that I empathize with more, I would get more out of it. But I don't know, just never worked for me. That's good. It feels good to talk about it. Honestly, it feels a little cathartic to know the four of us are on the same page, which again very rarely happens. Just want to reiterate, like very few times that we've all four agreed on something. Cool. You guys want to talk about video games?
Okay.
Don't twist my arm. All right. I'm gonna take a puff of this inhaler.
Yeah, actually, please don't do that.
I would never, Tony. I would never. Tony, did you start work this past week?
Yeah.
How'd it go? Did it go all right?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. It was all like classroom training this week. I actually like start
soon.
Tuesday.
Okay. Cool. I'm excited for you. I'm glad it went well though.
Oh, that's the stuff.
Oh yeah. Oh. All right. That's that good podcast juice right there.
Mm-hmm.
All right. It is Sunday, June 23rd, 2019, and you are listening to the Irrational Passions podcast. I am Alex O'Neill, your host for this podcast adventure we are going to embark on together. I hope you packed extra socks because joining us this week we have Mr. Scott Guthier.
Extra socks is blasphemy.
Tony Horvath.
I don't own socks to begin with.
And Brian Nabishin Jackson. I don't know, man. I feel like I tear through socks way more often now today than I ever have at any point in my life. I would just lose socks as a kid. Now I'm just tearing through them. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Irrational Passions podcast. If you, as I'm sure you've put everything together by now, this is a video games podcast where we talk about video games and not socks. I know. Gasp.
If you ever do an album or write like a self biography or something like that, just call it "Tearing Through My Socks."
Tearing Through My Socks. That's a good. It's a good memoirs. Or album. Actually, I feel like that's more of an album title. I like it. Four of us are back. E3 is done. We're recording on Sunday because I was very, very tired yesterday. Which is also part of the reason why we don't have an editor here. I was going to start looping them in this week, but we figured that out very last minute yesterday, and so we are down an editor. Hopefully they'll be coming back next week. Jarrett or Logan, are last in the rotation, and they've been battling for the last 3 weeks to determine which of them will come on. But if you were unaware, Irrational Passions Podcast, a video game show where we talk about the games we've been playing, is also a product of irrationalpassions.com, of which there's a bunch of cool stuff up on that you should go check out. First and foremost, we have a review of Judgment, the next game from the developers of the Yakuza series. Mike Burgess played it. There's a video review of it. He liked it. You should go check it out. It's on YouTube as well, youtube.com/irrationalpassions. A lot of good stuff in that video review. It's a good sick jump joke actually in that video, which was totally unrelated to our recent sick jump debacle. There's also a feature from Jarrett Green about My Friend Pedro. If you hadn't noticed, Jarrett kind of transitioned his reviews into features. That's kind of like the style that he has found works better for him. So that would be like, if you want to know how Jarrett feels about that game, if it works, if it doesn't, that is the thing that you should read. And it's very good. There's some really good pull quotes from that one. We've got a couple other things cooking. They recorded the first episode of Sonic 06 book club, video game book club. You can play Sonic 06 alongside them, or just watch them play it more likely. And that apparently went about as well as I wanted it to. Logan couldn't make the first recording, but it's Jarrett, George, Logan, and Scott White playing through Sonic 06, talking about it. The fully edited version of that with gameplay and everything in it will be up this coming Friday for you to listen to. That's about it. irrationalpassions.com. Check it out. Some other shows there too. IP Presents. We did a lot of cool E3 stuff with that. Whatnot, etc. Video game talk and whatnot. Let's get right into talking about video games. And there's not gonna be any news this week. It's gonna be a chill week. Just talking about games we've been playing. E3's over. We're kind of all resting, I would say, as a video games industry after E3. So let's talk about games. Does anybody in particular want to talk about the games they've been playing? Anybody feeling it this week? Not all at once.
I've got
you gotta give us a
to
second.
go through in Sekiro.
Okay.
You can't just assume we're not going to say anything and then comment.
I
as if
did
we didn't
give
say
a full second. I counted to Mississippi in my head.
Listen, dude.
I mean,
there was latency. All right.
latency. Google Stadia bullshit happening right now.
True.
I mean, I have some games I'd like to talk about, if that's okay with you, Scott.
Yeah.
I played. I want to mention this because I haven't really been talking about it on the show, just because I've been forgetting. I've been replaying through Bloodborne with a good friend and friend of the show, Justin Graffius. And we finished Bloodborne. He beat Bloodborne. He had never played a From Software game before, or anything like that. He had heard about Bloodborne. He loves like Cthulhu shit. And he heard that was kind of a big part of that, and he wanted to kind of jump in there, but he didn't want to do it alone. So we played front to back, all Bloodborne together. Super fun. We played through all the DLC, beat the DLC boss, beat the final boss, and we did it. It was super fun. I was super proud of Justin. He really liked it. I would say I don't know where he ended up falling with it. I should have asked him to give it a score at the end just to know what he really ultimately thought. But we had a ton of fun, and it was so much fun that he said, "Okay, let's play the Dark Souls games now." Which was both very exciting for me, because it's like, oh, like, I'm so happy that you want to play Dark Souls now. I'm glad Bloodborne got you into From Software's games. And then I was like, oh, but now I have to play Dark Souls again. So we started our Dark Souls 1 remastered journey a couple days ago. And that was exciting. We got to the point where we can start summoning each other. We beat the first 2 bosses, and we're going to be cruising through that. We might, we talked about it, we might stream some of it, we might not. It's been fun just to kind of play just the 2 of us. But that's been really cool, talking about the lore with him and him figuring out how enemies work. And I'll say, going into Dark Souls from Bloodborne, I was worried that Bloodborne would be way too fast and would ruin him on how slow Dark Souls is. But Justin's been killing it. He's been doing a really, really great job experimenting with weapons, finding stuff that he likes. That was just one thing I wanted to mention that has been super fun. Other stuff, I've been like bouncing back and forth a bunch across a lot of different games. I feel you, Nabishin. I feel like that inability to find like one thing and stick to it. Of just like I'm not quite sure. Like I feel like we're in a transitionary period of games that I really want to kind of sink into. But I was happy to say like a couple of things kind of got their hooks in me this week. I bought a lot of things this week. I bought Black Ops 4. Why? You'll have to ask me on another day.
Why?
I think what I wanted was just something that I could listen to podcasts to while I played. And some of the things I was getting into, like Cadence of Hyrule and Katana Zero, were not like good picks for that. So I bought Black Ops 4. I don't love playing Black Ops 4 as much as I thought I would too, because I think I was expecting more of a Black Ops 3 experience, something a little bit looser and jumpier. Black Ops 4 is not that. But I like as a good multiplayer game to jump into, just to kind of lose myself with. That's been a lot of fun. I've only played like an hour or so of it. But man, there's just like no explanation of how to navigate that menu at all. Like I remember Jeff Gersman talking about this on the Bombcast last year when it came out. And I don't know if you mentioned it, Tony, but yeah, like if you just want to like get into a multiplayer match, like it doesn't tell you where to go, what to do, how to do that, or anything. Like you just kind of have to figure it out. And some like I've been off Call of Duty for a few years, right? So like the whole in-game currency shop and all that stuff on the left side, I was like, I don't know what the fuck. I just found myself in that menu by accident, and I was very confused as to what to do. I bought Tales of Vesperia for the Switch. Why? I don't know. I don't have good answers for you.
It just felt right.
It just felt right. I mean, I started playing again on Switch, and I've already put like 8 hours into it. So, I started playing Hollow Knight, again from scratch, from the start, for no reason, no particular reason. That only lasted a little bit though. That was like an hour or so. I've been playing Overwatch with some friends, which was fun. But let's get into the meaty stuff. So Cadence of Hyrule. Namshin, have you played this at all? Do you have any interest in this?
I wasn't that big of a fan of Crypt of the Necrodancer, so
okay.
I didn't really jump into this.
Fair enough. Yeah, I really fell for Cadence of Hyrule.
You switched up from last week.
Yeah, I turned off the rhythm stuff.
Oh, okay.
And I felt so bad, but I like honestly, and I know it's really hard for me to explain this. I've tried in the past. Like it is like so hard for me to stay on rhythm with things. Like it is so hard. And I ultimately,
not everyone has the gift.
Not everyone has the gift like you guys do. But ultimately, I turned it off for a little bit. I've been toggling it back on and on for like cool moments, or moments that I'm like really into the music and I'm paying more attention to the music, because I have an easier time of it then. But just playing it kind of a little bit more carefree, as like more of a traditional roguelike gameplay style of like enemies move when you move, enemies attack when you attack, stuff like that. All actions happen in correspondence to the movement and the actions you take. And that's been super cool. It's very cool. It's such a cool idea to see these like Crypt of the Necrodancer and Zelda just straight up mashed into each other. Reminds me a ton of A Link to the Past. Like the overworld is so fleshed out. There's so many like little secrets. And the music is just phenomenal. It makes me so happy that the folks that made Crypt of the Necrodancer got to make what is essentially a very good Zelda game. And playing through that and seeing how the dungeons work in it and how they all correspond to the mechanics is really cool. It's really satisfying. But there were times where like I beat 2 dungeons and I fought 2 bosses, and the first boss I was like, the music for this boss fight is really cool. I wish I could turn like the beat mode back on, but you can't in the middle of a boss fight. So the next boss fight, I ended up turning that back on and playing it to the rhythm and having a really good time, because I think I had more time to understand the mechanics and get better at them just as a whole, and then applying the rhythm aspect to it made it more fun after that point. But yeah, really good. I think like very much a Scott Guthier, Tony Horvath game. I think you two would both dig it whenever you get around to it, if at all. But yeah, so far so good with that one. Amazing soundtrack too. Just want to reiterate the Gerudo Desert. Like, I never thought I would be like, okay, this Gerudo Desert remix is what got me back into this jam, but that is exactly what they do in this game, and it's really, really rad. The other big thing I played was Katana Zero, which I kind of bought on a bit of a whim, mostly because Blessing Adeoye from OK Beast has been just shouting it at me every time we play Overwatch of how I should play that game. That game is really, really rad. I didn't expect to get as into it as I thought I ended up getting into it. It's one of those games, right? It's like I don't want to put it on like the Undertale pedestal, so I wouldn't necessarily go that far, but I would say maybe like Danganronpa would be a good comparison. I think that's still maybe a little bit higher narratively than maybe Katana Zero is going to get. We'll see. But it's like the game kind of unfolds surprises as you play through it narratively that are really, really cool and really... I was taken aback at multiple points, or some things happened that I didn't expect, or things happened so quickly that I couldn't have anticipated them. And I think Katana Zero is one of those cool games where how you end up doing things, how you play things just naturally is going to affect more and more things as the game goes on, which is cool. For folks who don't know, it's like a 2D action game. I would say the closest comparison that a lot of people have been making is something like Hotline Miami. You're going through these kind of structures, these rooms, room to room, breaking through doors, killing enemies, and all enemies die in one hit. You can break down a door and kill an enemy with it. You can pick up an item and toss it at an enemy. You don't have different weapons, right? Which is where, like, I think Hotline Miami has a little bit of an edge. But you can pick up objects and toss them very quickly at enemies, and that'll kill them just in one hit. And you'll die in one hit. So there are certain enemies with guns that you have to be really careful of, either by dodging through their bullets and getting in as close as possible to slash them with your katana in a very short amount of time so they don't shoot you, or you can use another one of your powers. There's the dodge and then a slowdown of time to actually fight deflect the bullet back at the enemy with your sword, which is very cool. So it's just kind of going through challenge rooms, making sure all enemies are dead, and then progressing through. But there are instances where it seems like you can progress without killing anyone, at least that I've noted, and that's some of the stuff that I'm talking about. I experimented around with maybe sneaking through this area, maybe not killing this type of enemy that looks and appears very differently than other enemies. Like little touches I've been adjusting as I've played, and I don't know if it's going to have a big effect on what happens, but it seems like it will, and that's pretty cool on face value. There's also these kind of interstitial scenes. At the end of every chapter, you go home to this like very shabby apartment building in, I think it's a district called Mecca City, of a larger city, and there's like, you have these really loud, obnoxious neighbors that like play loud music and smoke weed all day, and then you have like this little girl who might live with her parent or whatever, or parents, unsure, and you live in this kind of rundown apartment. So going back there, watching the news and kind of hearing reports on some of the things that you've done, and getting into this loop. And then there's another interstitial scene before every chapter, or at the beginning of every chapter, where you go and talk to what appears to be some kind of psychiatrist or doctor, and they ask you questions, and you can kind of open up and be honest, or you can be very closed off and dishonest, and they give you this drug that allegedly gives you your powers to kind of manipulate time. Overall, I don't know, it's really, really cool. It's got a sense of style to it that I didn't expect It looked like it would, but sometimes I think that can be very surface level, and it doesn't end up following through into the mechanics, into the tone, into the enemy design. But Katana Zero really, really fleshes itself out through and through. I've been really into it. I don't know if you had any interest in an option, but it seems like something that you might dig too.
It was that game and like another samurai game that or ninja game that I wanted to try out.
Kunai? Was that the other one? That's where you play the doofy looking robot.
I think it was the one that Yakuza Games was doing.
Oh yeah, yes. I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head. That one also looks very cool. That's a little bit more traditional, like Ninja Gaiden type, but very cool. This is more of a mindfuck. Hotline Miami is also, I think, a good comparison in that there's a lot of surrealism applied to it. You don't quite know what's real or what's happening at any given time. And the last thing that I played because of a tweet that you sent, Option. I played episode Arden, the last Final Fantasy 15 story to be told. Did you play this, Option, or did you buy it?
I bought it. I played up to like the first save point where like you're in like in this open world suddenly, and like you just go around the city anytime you want to.
Yeah,
it got so weird, and I was like, okay, I'm done for now.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much more past that too. So, I finished it. Final Fantasy 15 is a weird video game. You were
that's literally what I tweeted out after I played it, and I got to that point. I was like, "This is just weird, man. Like it's cool, but it's weird."
Hear me out, because we talked about this on a rewatch, which is a to be posted show that Nabsha and I have been doing. Some people have seen it live, but there will be more rewatch. I think the Sony 2013 press conference. The big bombshell, Kingdom Hearts 3 and then Final Fantasy Versus 13 becomes 15. And we talked about that trailer. I think it might have even been after that. Like another Final Fantasy 15 trailer. But here's my thing, and I've been thinking about it a lot. I get why Final Fantasy 15 is the way it is, because I see like Arden as a villain and like his backstory and what he is and what he was. And I also see the struggle of trying to tell this story through this character's perspective, and getting all those parts into it, right? Like, I really understand why kind of Final Fantasy 15 turned out to be what felt like a mess, right? Like, what felt like all these things that was like, well, this happened and this is super important. It's like, yeah, but like, we had to make the choice, right? Either we tell this character's story through this perspective, or we have it switching all over the place and kind of inconsistent. And they'd clearly made some kind of combat mechanics for all these characters, right? And I would bet like the Ravis and Luna Freya episodes also had like whatever their prototype combat mechanics. And Final Fantasy 15 then becomes like, oh, this is kind of like, I would say like Final Fantasy VI, where you have these different chapters where you play through chapters as different characters to see all these different perspectives and have it all kind of tie together at the end. That was the game that they wanted to make, or at least it feels like it is, and they just didn't have a way to bring all those things together. So we get this checklist of DLC episodes that are all kind of a bummer to some extent. And I don't know, episode Arden is just... I would say in a way it's good. Like, I think it works. It suffices. It gets weird. Like, there's this weird open world, like, collect the towers moment.
It's
It's so weird. And I can't, like, again, it's like you finally getting to go around the capital city too, like, of Insomnia and in daylight with people about, and like, it's a big deal, but it's fucking Monkey Paw, dude. It's, now you get this weird, go to these terminals or these towers and defeat these bosses at each tower. And it's weird and it doesn't make sense. But it's like, okay, this was the last thing from their endless prototypes or assets that they made for the original version of this game that they wanted to put out there too. That's what it feels like, at least. And they try to tell a story about one of the characters within that. But I don't know, that story just ends up being weird as well, and like it makes sense, but it just seems unnecessary. Like I felt like they'd implied all of what they had brought about with Arden here, save for kind of like his more tragic backstory. But they very much like leave it open to like maybe it was Arden's fault and maybe it wasn't. Maybe Arden was always a bad guy and maybe he wasn't. Maybe his brother was a bad guy. And then they kind of move away from that subject and essentially say like, yeah, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. We're here where we are and we have to deal with the consequences. So I don't know. It feels like it wanted to tell this backstory. Then it just kind of copped out at the last second. It doesn't necessarily add anything to Arden's character that makes him better, but it certainly fleshes him out a bit more. He is just what he was before, though. This kind of Murphy's Law, nothing but chaos, anarchy, burn it all to the ground kind of character, which is cool in its own right, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. I felt very weird coming out of it. I didn't think it was like a good way to end Final Fantasy 15. I thought the Royal was such a good close to that story as a whole, to like the last thing to add to it. That's all you needed. But now they've muddied the waters again.
I should send you a link. There's a it came out like I think there's like an art book or something like that that has like new art of what was going to be in like episode Freya and episode
Ravis.
Her name.
Oh,
no,
Aranea.
There you go. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
But like there's some cool art. And it looks ambitious too. Like it's a shame we never got around to it. But like I think like I think on episode Noctis, which was supposed to be the last one, like I think Noctis was gonna summon like the I guess the god for Freya, and then they have concept art, and it looks real cool.
Very cool.
Like the cover of the cover of Final Fantasy 15. So yeah.
That is interesting. I'll have to look into that. Yeah, if you find that link, send it to me. Yeah. Ultimately, I felt really weird about episode Arden. It came out in March. I've been meaning to play it since then. It's $10. You know, I think like if you are desperate for more Final Fantasy 15, or if you want to know everything that there is to know about that series, yeah, get it, play it, whatever. It takes like an hour and a half, 2 hours. But it didn't leave me satisfied at the end of that story the way like replaying through the Royal did and seeing everything in that. So just fair warning, keep that in mind. It definitely, I don't think they should have put episode Arden out. That was like my last feeling of they should have just canned this too. But and that's a bummer to think and to say, but it's just like I feel like episode Arden was maybe trying to set up more and then it ends. And that's true of like what they were trying to do with those the season 2 of DLC, and they just, if they were going to cancel 2 of them, they should have canceled all 3. That's all I'll say. Those are all the video games I've been playing. Thank you for letting me talk about them. Nobshin. What about you? You didn't talk about games last week because you came in late, which I realized far too late. What you been playing?
Not much of anything, dude. Like just the same. That's the same wish wash of everything. Just playing Mass Effect just because. I want to fire up the Monster Hunter Iceborne beta, but I haven't gotten around to doing that yet. It's just this weekend for PlayStation Plus, and I guess for everybody, I think next week. So.
Oh shit! I didn't even know about that.
Yeah. But yeah, you can download now. I think today's the last day for PlayStation Plus. It did like next weekend. It should be on everything. I think PC as well. So
okay, cool.
I haven't really been playing much of anything. Like I played Super Mario Party yesterday for and like for play with my best friend, my nephew, and my godniece, and like that was a great old time. Like I forgot how good that game is when the stars align and everything is right. How good that game really is. Because like I've forgotten like everything about that game as far as like the mini games and stuff like that's new, and like we were all on the same level, and like Vernon turned out to be the winner of that one. Like he barely beat Callista too. So like me and Tony were last place. So that was like crazy. Like the 7-year-old and like the 16-year-old was like almost beating us. But like it was great at the same time because like it was like super fun.
Damn. That's a fun deep cut.
What?
Just like I don't know, hearing Vernon get good at that as well. It's cool.
Oh, yeah, I'm good at video games. He just doesn't play anything else. like
there it is.
like he could smoke anybody in Mario. I firmly believe that he's very, 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 very good at Mario Kart.
You hear that, Barrett Courtney? Come out of the woodwork and play this kid, this teenager.
Like I think like the time that we played online there, like I let Vernon play, and that's the time like my name beat Barrett, but that was like time. But yeah, Vernon's super good at Mario Kart 8. He hasn't played in a while though. Like he's been talking to me lately about like he wants to play like that in Splatoon again. So like we'll probably jump back into that again.
Nice.
But yeah, Super Mario Party still a real great game. And other than that, though, like if anything, like it's been like for like, the past like few months, it's just a bunch of me just buying stuff and not really like finishing anything, or even starting it up. I just bought stuff. Like I bought a bunch of C games on Xbox One X and didn't play them really. I bought Judgment. I plan on playing that. I just haven't gotten around to it because I've been so busy. Bought Crashing Racing.
You don't plan on playing that.
I'll play it. Like I played like.
Just kidding.
Like I played it a little bit and it's fun. It's just like it controls differently. Like it's like I think it was on Frame Trap that they said like this is a very skill based game, and it's just like a car racing game.
Mm-hmm.
And like I totally see that now because like it's a thinking man's kart racer more than just a Mario Kart where you can just jump in and just have fun. Like it's a little bit more into it like that. Like when you're trying to like, do drift stuff like that, you have to do it wasn't like how to make that stuff work. But like other than that, like yeah, like I bought Samurai Showdown, because like I actually really want to play that. It's not out yet. It comes out on Tuesday, and like literally all I've been really doing as of late is just been watching just a bunch of like I subscribed to like to a bunch of like fighting game channels and just been watching like Dragon Ball FighterZ.
Getting that Evo hype, dude.
Like it's ridiculous how like I'm so like ready for that now. Like I just want it now.
Is your first time in Vegas, just in general?
In Vegas.
Oh, okay. Very exciting.
Like I might have to text Tony, get some recommendations for
dude.
stuff from the area. But other than that though, like yeah, like it's gonna be a good time.
Yeah, I'm excited for you. Cool. Is that all your games?
There's stuff. I just haven't really thought of it. I got another thing I bought Skyward Sword for the Wii U because I wanted it. I wanted it forever.
I wanted it.
Am I gonna play it? I don't know.
Yeah.
But I bought it.
Yeah.
It's $20. It was fine. They're playing it now, so I don't know. Maybe I'll jump into it too.
We'll see you, Barrett, Max White, just all these people playing Skyward Sword, and I'll just rewatch my old Let's Play of it. I forgot that in that Let's Play also I did like all the side quests, and like all the boss rush trials and all of the extra stuff that I would probably never do again.
I just remember this popped into my head, but like there's a Brand Ranch voicemail that you had.
Yes.
You said you were gonna do.
Yes.
I just
thank you for remembering that.
I don't know why I remember you said Skyward Sword. That just immediately made me think of Brent for some reason.
That's probably pretty on brand. I'm sure he probably hates that game or something.
But I think that's me.
Okay, cool. Shout out to Skyward Sword one time. Tony Horvath.
Hey.
What you got? What video games have you been playing?
I've been playing a sweet game called Path of Exile.
Mm-hmm.
Game's pretty good.
Is it still good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a good time. Pretty consistently playing that. But the big thing that I've been playing this week is the open beta for Teamfight Tactics, the League of Legends auto chess mode that's on their public beta right now.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I'm going to assume that the nerds out there are going to know what auto chess is. We've never talked about it on this show, but people are probably pretty aware of it because I know of it, but I don't actually know the rules of auto chess. Tony, do you think you can give me like a basic breakdown of this battle thing?
Yeah, so basically you have a set of dudes, or you make $5 a turn, let's say.
Okay.
Right? And what you aim to do is to spend that money in an efficient way to get a bunch of dudes up to a limit based on your level, and you set them up on the board, and then they fight against other players' sets that they've bought in the same time. And you fight against a random opponent every round over and over again until you're the last man standing.
Cool.
In the meantime, you're balancing, trying to keep your economy going because you gain interest on money that you saved and not spent. You're trying to upgrade units, get better units, and put together synergies because each unit has a tribe and a class that they like are part of. So like someone might be a void sorcerer or something, and your goal is to get enough of those to get enough class bonuses and extra modifiers to do enough damage, get enough items, and put them on the right things in the right order to eventually beat all of the other people trying to do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And you do that over the course of anywhere from 15 to 45.
Damn,
it's pretty cool.
It is it's a cool idea. I don't know. I'm excited that it's kind of catching on. So who made this Teamfight Tactics, the kind of League of Legends equivalent?
I don't know, Riot.
Okay, I didn't know if it was like somebody in the community or something. Because
no, it's just a Riot thing.
Okay, because auto chess, for folks that don't know, is a Dota 2 mod originally. Cool. Is it good?
Yeah, it's a good time.
Have you played the original auto chess at all?
Yeah, I played a ton of it. For anyone who's listening who actually played it, I played enough to get ranked all the way up to Queen, which is really high rank.
Nice.
And kind of just didn't play after. But I'm really excited to hop in with how that is successful on the League client.
Mm-hmm. Is it
a bunch of my friends and everything are playing it?
You mentioned it's like beta only, so you have to like sign into like a beta server to play it. Is it like one of the selectable options is like normal bullshit league, Dominion or whatever they're fucking?
Yeah, so they're designing it. They're designing it as like a full league,
like a third pillar, if I may.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
They're going to support it as like they would a normal league mode.
Cool. That is very cool. Any word on when it's coming out of beta?
Tuesday.
Nice. All right. Any thoughts, feelings, anything else, Tony?
I don't know, man. The game is a lot of fun, so it's been neat to.
That's cool. I might.
I had to step away for a second. Like, where did this come from, by the way?
It's a mod that some guy. You know how Dota has like an arcade.
Mm-hmm.
Someone made an arcade mode, and it was Dota Auto Chess, and it got very popular.
I wonder how
basically it just did like a Dota again, pretty much.
I guess.
Pretty much.
It's the Dota of Dota, too. I don't know.
I know, like there's like other ones that are coming around as well.
Yeah, the guy that made auto chess is making like a standalone auto chess of some kind, right? Or the person I don't know who made auto chess. I don't know if it's a man or a woman. And then I feel like I've heard like Tencent is working on some kind of auto chess.
Right.
That could be totally wrong, but that sounds like a thing.
Tencent owns League of Legends.
Okay.
Dota came out with the Valve people came out with Dota Underlords, which is the standalone version.
Yes.
So yeah, there's the arcade version. There's a mobile version made by the original developers of the game.
Mm-hmm.
There is Dota Underlords, which is now out on Steam. I haven't tried that. And then there's Teamfight Tactics. Mm-hmm. So yeah, everyone's kind of coming to bat with. And when I say Underlords is out on Steam, it's out in early access and very rough.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Yeah, this is round 2 of the Dota Wars. Everyone's now doing Dota auto chess.
How long until Epic gets their own?
Ooh.
Yeah, Epic Launcher exclusive.
Epic Game Store, Epic Launcher exclusive auto chess. I would say give it 6 months an option. If we don't hear about it by then, we will hear about it announced at the Game Awards. Lock it in. I don't know if I want to make that a bet, but that feels right. Cool. Do you feel Teamfight Tactics is your favorite of them, Tony, or is it just comparable?
It's too early to tell with them because that version, it's still going through different iterations and they're rebalancing stuff, but I think that they've done a lot to make it more accessible. I think that there are a couple things that they've added which you don't get access to in the other games modes, which like there's a carousel of rotating units which you pick in reverse order of who's doing the best. So if you're kind of not really doing very well, you get first pick out of this group of like 10 champions. So if you can hopefully get a good champion or a good champion holding an item that you need for your build to try and get yourself back into the game or whatever, and that's super neat. And we'll see how it goes with what different strategies remain and become viable. Because I think that if the game isn't properly balanced, it can very quickly become who got lucky enough to get enough pieces for this good build that is the best build, and they'll probably win, and everyone else is just kind of screwed. I don't think it'll be that extreme, but it can get to that point. So it'll be interesting to see if they can balance it well enough to make it work.
Cool. I'm curious to see who wins auto chess. It turns out it was Skynet the whole time.
Damn
it. What else have you been playing, Tony?
That's really it, man.
Okay, cool.
That, and I'm watching hella GTA RP.
Yeah, still good?
Yeah.
Are there any new big stories happening, or is it we're just kind of continuing on?
I don't remember what was happening the last time we talked about.
The one guy died or left forever or whatever.
Oh, Young Dab?
Yeah.
Yeah, rip Dab, dude.
Rip the dream, man.
Killer Records. We still out here.
Scott Guthier, I've made you wait. I've waited patiently. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about Sekiro, man.
All right. So full stop. I'm at the point where Wolf is at Ashina Castle.
Cool. For the first time?
So I went through a lot of that game.
Yeah, that's a big chunk.
So that is when I think I was here last, I think I just got to Ashina Castle.
Yes.
No,
you just beat the horse dude, so you were right there.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I did just get there. So I went through that. I went through the Senko Temple.
Senpo or
Senpo.
I think, yeah.
I got the Middle Blade there.
Nice.
I think I defeated just about every mini boss along the way.
Nice.
From here to there as well.
There's some good hidden ones.
The only one I missed. Is the terror ones.
The headless.
The headless, and that's sunken.
There's multiple headless. To be clear, there's a couple of them. I think there's 5. So
I didn't see a headless in there.
They're hidden pretty well. They're like optional fights that give you these permanent. They give you items that basically let you do, the buffs, the candy buffs, the monkey candy. They let you do those indefinitely, but they use spirit talismans, the things you use for your prosthetic arm, instead of.
Oh, I need the one that gives me the defense.
Yeah, that one was the one that I found first. That one's you might not be able to get yet. It depends. I'll tell you once you tell me more about what you've played.
Right. So I went through there. The only mini boss that I found that I didn't fight is the caster, the terror caster. I don't remember
the
his name.
Sachiman warriors. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't sneak up on them.
Yep.
And then at the time, I just didn't do any damage to him.
Yep.
It would take me 4 or 5 hits to actually visibly move his health bar, and I could not posture smack him.
Yep.
So even if I did play perfectly, that would be a 45-minute to an hour-long fight.
Yep. Because
I have to kill him twice.
There's a whole thing. There's an item that you probably have a couple of that will. Jesus God, I gotta stop knocking my microphone. That will probably help you. I don't know how much you've experimented with like the consumable buffs or anything though.
Not too much.
Okay.
Most of the ones that give me extra stuff don't help me.
Yeah.
All that much, because it's not like they're giving me extra skill points.
Yeah. They're like better when
And
you're
then
like grinding for skill points or whatever.
And then I'm not 100% clear on what items things give me, so that one's not all that useful. And then what I've been doing to save money is I have been purchasing the coin sacks.
Good. Yeah. That's good.
So every time I got a couple of coin sacks, I would buy them. Or every time I had the option to, I would buy them. So when I lost money, I would be losing 40 gold.
Yeah, not
gold.
everything. Yeah. That's smart. I did
mostly
that,
half of what I earned in the section that I was in.
Mm-hmm.
So I went through there. I believe I fought just about every mini boss in that area.
Cool.
I went through the it's the place before the Temple of Illusion. So there's like a side area to the left where you can get an item or an extra text.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I picked up all that.
That's good. You'll need that later. Yeah. And that did you get the esoteric text for the Senpo moves?
Yes.
Cool. That's good. Just because like one of them, there are a lot of like just buff type things in there. Like some like item drops go up. Like it is easier to get rare items or crafting materials, and it's like one is like get more money from killing enemies. It's like okay, cool.
Yeah. So other than that, it looks like there's a couple of secrets in there as well.
Yeah.
Interactions.
Maybe.
I have no idea what to do with those.
Fair.
There is the whole flyer where you send out the kite,
mm-hmm.
and I'm assuming that's supposed to do something at some point.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea how to trigger that.
Cool. You might not have the thing you need for it yet, so that's okay.
So I went through there, and then where it gets confusing after that, because there's a whole separate path off to that area where you start the game.
Yeah.
That I also went and cleared out that you have to go through. I already did that. Found just about everything in that section.
Did you do the big pit?
But you have...
Did you do the big pit?
The big pit?
Okay. This is like a big hole. It's underground. Does this sound familiar at all?
Is there a bridge near it?
No. It's like that path that you're talking about, like where the game started, where you kind of go into the cell that you were in, where the game started.
Well, I'm not talking about the cell. I'm talking about the area off to the right after you escape the well.
Okay, got it. Okay, yeah.
No, I'm not talking about that.
Got it.
So I did that.
There's a lot of stuff in this game.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in this game.
Yes, I like it a lot.
So I didn't find the pit.
Okay.
I don't think then.
You will. You'll get there. I was just curious.
Do I have to find the pit?
Yeah, you do have to find the pit. There's more exploring to do. Is it
connected to the guy where I have to drag somebody from... the jailer in the underground?
Yeah.
Is it connected to that pit?
No. It's near there. It's near the Sachiman warrior, that guy. So it's in the underground there.
Is that the guy that kicks?
No.
Or is that the guy with the spear?
That's the guy that does the terror damage to you that you said you couldn't stun or anything. That's the Sachiman warrior, the guy with the staff.
It's by the guy with the staff.
Yeah.
Are you sure it's because I did find a place where it said, "Hey, you see this bridge? Jump off it."
Mm-hmm. Maybe there's a bridge there. Is it like underground? There's like an old lady there, and there's a big, like
It's more of like a big ravine, and it says, They essentially tell you, "Hey, that bridge, go jump off it."
Is it outside or inside? The one.
It's way underground.
Okay, then yeah, maybe we're thinking the same thing. Jump off the pit. Jump off the fucking cliff, man. Just do it.
It's just fucking jump off that cliff. I'm like, you know what? I'm busy right now, but I'll come back.
I'll come back here. That's exactly what I did too. So that makes me feel good. I'm like, this seems like a commitment, and I'll come back later.
Like the only thing I know about Sekiro, like, because I haven't watched too much of like other people playing that game, is like it's just the guy that comes out of nowhere. It literally comes out of nowhere, and just like people just like reacting to that.
Oh God!
Does he also explode?
Oh, is this the guy that flies down from the sky?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that guy is fucking amazing.
That guy is very good.
He face plant. The first time I saw him, I was like, "What is that noise?" So I took like 2 steps back, and he fucking landed he face planted on the fucking roof.
Yeah, because it was a thing where I'm like,
"Fuck yeah!"
I was in combat, and I was like, what's that sound? Like, it sounds like somebody's yelling in the distance, and then it gets louder. I'm like, oh God. And I like, because I've played From Software games before, so I'm like, I just start like, oh no, like, what do I do? And I just dodge, and it was the same thing where he just came out of nowhere and like right into the ground, like face ground. And I was like, oh, whatever happened, I figured it. And then I realized, like, oh, he's like on a kite and he flies at you. It's terrifying. It's so horrible. They only do that twice in the whole game too, and it's great both times. Yeah. Sekiro is. I'm glad it's the only thing you know.
I went ahead. I got through most of the underground. I don't know who I'm supposed to drag to the guy who's into the jail.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand the puzzle at all.
He's looking for like a specific person that fits the description that he gave you. You will meet someone that meets that, and like when you talk to them, one of the dialogue options is send to Dogen or whatever the guy's name is. The
so it's not. I will know it.
You're not like physically grabbing someone and dragging them there, although that would be great. Yeah, you'll kind of know when it happens, because I didn't realize like. There was a character I'd met that ended up being the character you can send there if you want, because you can also choose not to. And I'd met him, and I was like, oh, whatever. And then I talked to him again after I had talked to the doctor guy, and that dialogue option popped up. And I was, oh, this makes sense. This is this character. This fits the description pretty well. So, not perfectly, I'll say. The description they give you is like whatever.
Yeah, I figured. So I'm gonna say that section's besides the pit. I'm gonna say that section's relatively clear.
Mm-hmm. Sounds like it.
So I went ahead and I did all the main stuff there. I got some rice.
Nice.
I enjoy my rice.
Yeah.
I always go back and get it.
Yep, it's good. It's a very handy healing item.
Yep.
Cool.
So from there, the next portion was to go into the Sunken Valley.
Yep.
I got through most of the Sunken Valley, and then I transitioned into the place that has Mibu Village.
Yeah, did you, just for my point of reference, did you kill, or not kill, but beat Genichiro on top of the castle?
What? Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool. I thought you would have, but I just wasn't sure.
No. Wolf is already there.
Cool.
And I don't think that I don't think you have the ability to go to all of those other places and do everything if Kuro doesn't tell you what you're supposed to do there.
So you can go there, but there's like a point before the end. Like, so for the Senpo temple, you can get all the way into the temple where the giant golden Buddha statue is, But the incense there that you have to inhale to go fight the monkey boss, it's not lit, and there's like a character there that's not there otherwise, and you can't get into that other section. So like you can still get there, but you can't do everything there yet.
Right. That's what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
It's generally how it is.
Yep. Which is cool.
So yeah, no, I one shot him.
Nice, dude. Revenge for that time he beat you in the prologue. It's a cool fight though. I don't know. I like that's like one of the first fights that's like a lot of faster attacks and stuff, you know. And then obviously he's got the second form that he goes into, which is cool.
Yeah, I believe I killed all the bosses that crawl on the ground. You know, the guys with claws.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do the fast slash.
Yeah.
Killed all of them too.
Those are cool too. So. I love just like ding, 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 ding.
So I did just about everything in a Ashina castle, I should also say.
Yeah, sounds like it.
That I could find.
Cool.
I don't think there's a whole lot there. There's a couple of boss fights.
Some fun fights, you know.
I didn't. Okay, I will say there is a point where you can, where you're in the castle, you're snooping around, where you have a cross section of bridge, and you can jump down.
Yeah.
I did not jump down before the reset.
Okay, you can still do that. Oh wait. Yeah, I forget like where you were ending up.
Yeah, so I'm already at the second half of Ashina Castle.
Yeah.
The second iteration of it.
Yeah.
I didn't know that there was going to be something down there until the second portion where you can hear the guy screaming down there.
Yeah, no,
so
you're good. You're good. You didn't miss anything too big. There's a guy screaming down there now though, and you should probably kill him before anything else changes.
True. That's why I'm not talking to Wolf.
Yeah, or Owl. That's the guy on the top of the roof.
Yeah, Wolf is me.
Yeah, Wolf is you, Scott.
Wolf
I am
Wolf. Is me. I forget because
Wolf and I are not on speaking
terms. A couple people
terms.
actually call him Sekiro.
Yeah, the one guy gives him that name, which means one-armed wolf. It's a combination of those two kanji, which is cool. Came full circle. Yeah, I like that. The guy that calls you Sekiro that gives you the name, he's very good. He's one of my favorite characters. He sounds so like, he sounds crazy. Like anytime he talks.
So other than that, so I went to the Sunken Valley. There's only a couple of actual spots that I found, like the statues that I found there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like the other sections where I fully explored it, I don't think. Although there just might not be too many because it splits off into two different sections.
Mm-hmm.
One where there's the underground snake, which because I killed most every mini boss, there is something that you were supposed to do with the monkey down there.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't do it. Okay. I just ran in face first. I got smacked in the face, and then I just kept running.
Okay, so like you have the puppeteer ability if you beat Genichiro or the monkeys. You get it from one of the two.
I could have puppeteered him and had him.
That's the thing that you use for certain, like you were asking me about the kite. That is the ability you need for that kite. And there's a character that'll tell you more about it if you've talked to them.
Well, they did tell me to make the monkey dance.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's just fucking throw a rock at him.
Yeah, I mean, I see where you kind of got that inspiration from. But yeah, they meant puppet, but that's fine. I like the way you did it more. I'm trying to think. Did you? So
I went there, and then other than that,
let's talk about the gorilla fight.
Right.
Okay.
I was just getting there. Yeah. I did do the gorilla fight.
Yeah. What'd you think?
He was a bit tough.
Yeah, he's tough, man.
I think the corrupted monk was a bit harder for me, though.
Yeah.
So the gorilla himself, his attacks are way more telegraphed than the monks.
Yeah, and they're also like way wider and kind of harder to deflect or dodge if that's what you're trying to do. Depending.
Right. So with the gorilla, if you decide, hey, I'm just gonna run, you can run. You have a really big area to either catapult yourself out of the way or with a grappling hook,
Mm-hmm.
or to just fucking hit sprint and go.
Yeah.
You can just do that. With Corrupted Monk fight, his attacks are just slightly too fast. You will get hit, and then some of his attacks look like quite a bit of his other attacks.
Yeah.
So
especially when he does that jump attack and you're not sure if he's going to come down with the sweep or come down with the once in front, the straight attack. That got me a lot.
And then it's also very hard to tell when he's going to do the there's a unblockable sweep attack where he does that and then he jumps at you, and then there's a different unblockable sweep attack where he's just jumping backwards.
Yeah, I'm glad I wasn't the only one that noticed these things.
Right. So it was those things, and then it's if you wanted to actually fight him and get him down, his posture damage recovery was based on how much health he has left.
Yeah,
it's the same for the monkey, but it's he has a lot less of a in between time that you can actually strike him.
Yeah,
and then not get punished back for it. The monkey is pretty easy in terms of having those portions, at the very least for the monkey's first phase.
Yeah.
And then for the second phase, it's not he takes a lot more posture damage just outright.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't really have to get in close to strike him all that more than once or twice. You just have to put a little bit of pressure until he starts swinging at you with a sword again.
Okay, I'm gonna request this of you, Scott, because I think you dig it, and it's like one of many extra boss fights that you might be able to see. I'm not gonna tell you what it is, but go back to, now that you're where you are in the game, go back to the poison, the poison pools with those big statues and the giant gun people, or the people with the giant guns. I don't know if you ever saw this. Did you see this?
So that's the other thing. I did see some of the pool area, the poison pools. However, the only things that I saw there weren't, well, now that you mention it, this is in a cave, right?
Yeah, it's in a cave.
It's in a cave, and then originally there was a essentially a mini boss there.
Yeah, a really tough gun mini boss. One of the snake
One
eyes.
of the gun ladies.
Yeah, the gun ladies. Did you do this?
So I did that.
Okay. If you go back there now that you've kind of triggered this second act of the game, there's a cool extra thing that you can do there. And it's cool.
Okay.
There's a lot of places that will because you'll note, and I'm sure you definitely notice, the kind of time of day is getting darker. It's going from sunrise in the beginning of the game to sunset toward where you are in the game.
No, it's as you keep on going, and it's not as time moves, but it's as you make slight little progressions.
Yeah, as you trigger events throughout the world,
as you trigger events, time moves forward.
And in the same way in Bloodborne, where you had the kind of sunset, and then the moon has risen, and then the blood moon has risen, and these kind of different states of the world, different things will open up, and different people will say different things. Similar in Sekiro, you can go back to areas and things will be different, and maybe characters will show up in those areas that weren't there before, stuff like that. So it's cool.
Right.
I think that's everything, Scott.
I don't know if you ever answered this, Scott, but how are you feeling as far as comparing to the other Souls games?
So I'll put it this way. What's off-putting about this game is that it is. I just want to say that the mechanics of it make the game strictly easier than what I'm used to.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just because in the other games, if you wanted to block, you hit the block button. If you wanted to parry, you hit the parry button. If you fucked up either of those two, you were getting hit.
Mm-hmm.
In this game, they're the same button. So if you miss the timing on a parry, you will still block the action.
Yeah,
sure.
So I get why they did that, but at the same time, you can feather tap it and then be 70% accurate.
Yeah, true. This is all real.
And it's
agree.
not the best way to go through things, but you can go ahead and grind, get extra defenses up for your posture and your offense through your abilities, and then just have an edge that way.
Does that hurt the game for you overall, or are you fine with it? Are you enjoying it in spite of that?
For the most part, it doesn't. The fact that you can do that doesn't hurt the game.
Mm-hmm.
It's the fact that it's the fact that you essentially can't change your main weapon.
Man, it's so interesting to me. So many people have brought this up.
So the big issue with it is that it's not that I mind sticking with that weapon through the entire game, but it very much so limits what they can and can't do with the fights.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the fights themselves become repetitive. You can say, okay, most of the sword elites pretty much the same.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like
they seem a bit different, but really it's the timing, how you look at them, and like aside from there's essentially two main distinctions. It's, is he wearing a robe or is he wearing the samurai armor?
Yeah.
If he's I guess I should really say, is he wearing samurai armor or not? Because the guy that you fight in the middle of Ashina Castle that just does the I want to call it an eye strike.
Yeah, the ones that kind of come back down more vertically. Those guys, the guys that are
kind
like
of
in bathrobes or whatever.
It's the guys that yeah,
or in kimonos, I should say.
Yeah, one of those guys. There was a boss, and he was wearing one of those, and like it's the difference between him and the guy that throws the kick. When you take a look at how they come at you, they're not crazy different.
Yeah, I would say like
the dash speed is the same. The way you parry it is the same.
I don't think this feeling is going to change for you between now and the end of the game either, Scott. I wonder if it'll get worse or if you won't mind it.
I don't think so. Because here's the thing: the game's already decently long, and you find this out way earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And if this would bother you quite a bit, like if this really bothered me, then I probably wouldn't have gotten this far.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, fair enough.
So it's that enemy variation is fairly low in that regard. And then when they do vary it up, because they do, especially with the gun outpost,
yeah,
and then the monkey area,
yeah,
it's jarring because it more or less feels like you either have to find out the trick this time around, which before now has always been, okay, you can brute force it just to make it a little bit more difficult. Or there's, if you're paying attention to the lore, there's generally a secret trick that you can use to make it easier.
Yeah, it's true. I like that stuff too.
That's just how those games are fleshed out. And then for at the very least, that was Bloodborne. And then for Dark Souls, the weapon type that you choose is essentially choosing your difficulty. If you're choosing like the hardest weapon to complete most of the games with the exception of Dark Souls 2, Demon Souls falls under this as well. Essentially, it's ultra hammers.
Yeah.
Then it's ultra greatswords.
Scott's favorite weapons, essentially.
So on and so forth. And then the easiest way to complete the game is through magic.
Yeah.
Because what you do for most of the game is that you abuse the enemy pathing to get damage on them before they can kill you.
Yeah.
Or really get to you.
Or do anything, really.
And then you just run past everything you can run past.
Yeah. I'm like you're closing in on it, Scott. You're more than halfway through for sure now. So I'm really excited to see you finish this. It's funny too. Like I don't know. Like Nobshin, did you end up watching? Oh, you did watch this because Maximilian dude talked about his kind of problems with Sekiro on Frame Trap when he was on, and he liked it a lot, but he had his issues with it, and I feel like they were kind of similar of like what Scott is saying here. So, and I feel like most people have one or two things it's kind of like not a deal breaker, but it's the thing that kind of pushes it over the edge for them, and a lot of those things work.
So it's
for me.
The best way to put it is like it's not my favorite From Software game,
but it's not your least favorite.
I mean, maybe
okay,
but it's one of those things where it's. Yeah, I still like it.
Okay, cool. I'll take that. Have you played any other games this week, Scott? Okay.
Other than that, no, not really.
Cool. It was a good chunky Sekiro update, so I'll take it. How about we take a break? And then
No.
You don't want to take no break?
No.
Okay. I mean, we don't have to. I do kind of have to pee a little bit. I'm gonna be real with you.
Who's left? It's just Nabishin, right?
Nabishin,
I did one.
Oh, we're all done.
Yeah, we're all done games.
Oh, okay. Yeah, never mind.
And we'll come back. We have a couple of questions and a game from Silver PR. We got bets to settle, some of which we will not settle maybe this week, but we will settle on the horizon. And new bets to make. So we will be back in just a little bit. Choo. Hey, everybody. We're back. It's time. We're going to resume the show in just a moment. I should have gotten the music queued up before people could see us. Also, shout out to Nicole, who's watching us now. Also, she's in New York, so I know she's on Eastern time. She's like, oh, good. Let me refill my wine. And I just want to imagine her watching this show at 6 o'clock in the early evening on a Sunday, just hammered. Just absolutely thrashed. I'm not judging or anything. I just that's like a chill Sunday in my opinion. I'm in. All right. Hey everybody, welcome back. Welcome back, Tony.
Hi.
Let's take a peek in the mail sack. You can be a part of the show in a variety of ways. You can tweet us your questions at Irrational Pod. Use hashtag IPQ. That's not the mail sack.
Hello.
That's
incoming sick jumps.
Incoming sick. That's the incoming sick jump music. That is not canon, I will say. You can tweet your questions at Irrational Pod. Use the hashtag IPQ. You can leave us a voicemail 404-590-1337, or you can send us an email, mailsack@irrationalpassage.com. We have one of each today. This is very exciting times. Which would you guys like to hear first? The email, the voicemail, or the tweet?
Give the email to Tony and say the tweet or something.
Okay. Tony, I'm going to forward to you this email.
Okay.
This is from Silver PR. Actually, I'll just copy the text and text it to you.
Okay.
Or I'll message it on Discord because that's.
Doesn't matter. Do whatever you want to do.
So that way, Tony, you can be the game master for this trivia game.
Here we go.
It is their PS3 ads. Oh wow, it's too long to send to Tony. I'll just forward the email then.
Okay. Where are you gonna forward it to?
Your
My normal.
Your normal.
Live, right?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Oh
no, they know I use a Microsoft email there.
Oh no. Cool. Brent Ranch sent us a voicemail over a year ago. I had to re-sign into my Google Voice account, and I didn't check it for a long time. I'm gonna be real, but this is a voicemail leading into E3 2018 from Brent Ranch that is actually pretty evergreen. So I'll allow it to be played if I can figure out how to play this. They changed how everything works in these goddamn. I was about to really go into like an old man tear on that one, honestly.
It really changed how this newfangled technology works.
That's just the wrong speaker. Jesus Christ! All right, I'll play it into my phone or into my microphone because it doesn't want to play through the actual the headphones. Speak to me, Brant.
Hello, this is long-time listener, first-time caller, Rant Banj. I have an question for the Irrational Passions crew. I'm a huge fan of the Nintendo Switch, so I'm going to ask you folks.
Evergreen, like I said.
Name one title from the Nintendo Wii U, Nintendo 3DS, and either PS4 or Xbox One libraries that you'd like ported on the Switch. I look forward to hearing your answers. Have a good show, folks.
He's always a professional. Like he's
still on that train?
On the Switch train?
Bring everything to Switch?
Bring everything to Switch, dude. I fucking can't go.
A year ago, most people were still on that train.
But Brent Range is still on that train. Like I want you to know for a fact.
Anagram for that?
What's up?
Pets.
Oh, true. Oh man. If here's the thing about this question, because it is evergreen. So a 3DS, a Wii U, and either a PS3 or Xbox or PS4, Xbox One game.
Do I need to be checking my email here or what?
Let Hopefully that's sent. Well, we got time answering this question to figure that out. So, so for me, so I had lead time because I re-listened to this last night.
I think he meant just not exclusive for those.
Maybe, or like, you know,
like a Call of Duty,
like a Call of Duty type. Yeah, you're. I think you might be right. For me, a 3DS game, I would say like a Link Between Worlds is probably still what I would say. Maybe Fire Emblem Fates, if they like remade Fire Emblem Fates. Not Fates, Awakening. If they remade Fire Emblem Awakening for Switch, that would be fucking super awesome, actually. If a Wii U game is Mario 3D World for sure, easy. I would spend $60 on that game today, if that was on Switch. PS4, Xbox One game. I would have joked The Witcher 3 before, but now, like, Monkey Paw, we've got that. A lot of Monkey Paw situations, Nobishin. You've opened my eyes to this. I don't know. I was going to say Doom also. I was like, I don't know, Doom? But, like, that's already also there. They're working on it. Maybe everything will come over. I guess, like, Persona 5. Still. I would still say that. What about you, Nobishin?
Like at this point, like I'm like in a weird relationship with my Switch because it's like because like I don't take it anywhere really. Like there, like because like I don't know, like I think I somewhat like got away from being a portable gamer, but like probably like because when I had my Vita, I still have my Vita, but like the thing with my Vita is like it had exclusive games, so like I only played it on my Vita, so that's why I played it portably, and I was fine with that. Same with my PSP, but like my Switch one I could play it on my TV, and like it looks great for what it is on my TV, but like it's not as good as like a third party or something like that. Like I don't really need it on the Switch personally.
Mm-hmm.
Like PS4 is fine, Xbox One is fine, and I have a good TV, so like I would either get it on that. Cause like the next time Hollow Knight's going on sale, like I'm just gonna buy it on PS4 again or something like that.
It's on Game Pass, dude.
Oh, I can do that too. That's right.
I know, dude. It's every time. It's like I think I'll get it when it's on sale on PS3. It's like it's been on Game Pass for three months already. It's like what? What are you telling me? Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, it's a good point. Like I don't know, I'm in a similar boat. Like we're 4K TV bros. We're ruined equally, and we are here for each other through these dark times. So there's certainly like playing Ys 8 on Switch, predominantly on the TV in docked mode. I was like, like this frame rate is miserable. Like I played the demo on PS4, and I know how much greener the grass is on the other side. Right? There are a lot of times, and I haven't finished it yet. Maybe I will still break before I finish it, where I was like, I'll just fucking pay the $60 and buy this on PS4, just so I could play it with a 60 frames per second frame rate. But then, I have those moments where I take the Switch with me, or I take it up and I play for an hour in bed, and it's like, this is great. Like, this is really great.
Like, Tails is fine on the Switch, right?
Yeah, it's like when it's in docked mode, like when you're walking around the world map and whatnot, it's like a little choppy, but so is the 360 version, so it feels like more of a straight port. Because like then you're in combat and it's like 60 frames per second fine, and it's like okay. I'm curious what the PS4 version of that game looks like, but I don't know. Probably just as good as the Xbox One. So, but for the most part, Tails is fine on it. But I feel like you still have answers for these now, Shin.
I mean, like this is the ones I've been saying, like 3D World and Wonderful 101.
Mm-hmm. What about
like really wanting?
What about a 3DS game?
Only one really that would like work is like or at least I feel will work. Just like the Ocarina and like Majora's Mask. Just put it on there.
Yeah, that could actually be really cool. I will say I did have a moment yesterday where I was like, I want to get Bloodstained, but then I realized it comes out on the 25th on Switch, and I was like, this is the game to wait for. If I really wish I had waited for Moonlighter. Tony, do you have I know you're not a huge 3DS / Nintendo Wii U fan, but I don't know if you had answers for either of these.
I don't think so.
Okay. What about you, Scott?
Yeah.
Is there anything on like Wii U that you missed that you would want on Switch?
So there's really only one, I would say, package that I would like, and that would be like a No More Heroes package. But that did they announce that or no?
They announced No More Heroes 3.
No More Heroes 3.
Right. That could be good.
It's one of those things where they did 1 and 2 on the Wii, and they're doing 3 without motion controls,
presumably.
Because, the fucking Joy-Cons don't have
they have motion controls, but they don't have the IR thing.
They don't have the same kind of stuff that you would want in. Well, I mean, like we don't want it, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They're not as tuned as the Wii ones.
Yeah, they can't be. Motion controls can't be mandatory. There has to be an option without them.
Right. So I'm just very curious as to how they're just going to have one of the games of the series just like that, and the other's not.
Yeah, that's a good point. What about like a PS4 or Xbox One game? Anything that you'd want to play on Switch?
Not really.
Okay.
Most of the time, that kind of stuff, if it's not already on the PC, I generally don't care anyway.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Cool. Tony, did you get the email?
Let's see. I stopped refreshing it every 2 seconds, so. No.
No, great. Excellent. Thank God we have
you can't send it like on Discord or anything?
It's too long. It's over 2,000 characters.
So paste the whole thing in there, then cut out the second half, send the first half, then paste what you cut and send the second half.
All right, I will try. For you, I will try. I just don't want to like spoil myself on
just paste the whole block, and then highlight what seems to be roughly half.
Got it.
Hit Control X, or I guess Command X for.
Oh God, why would I?
And then I'm going to say the obvious part. Make sure you're doing it to him directly and not in the group chat.
Yeah, I'm just on Tony right now. You know what I mean? It's just me and Tony right now. I'm sorry that I feel like I'm having like my old man moment of the podcast that I'm so bad at everything. There's the first half. I definitely saw that game name.
It's hard to split things into halves like that.
Yeah. Just do it on my phone too.
If you could see the entire thing, it wouldn't be that hard. But you can't. You can only see a couple lines.
Okay, I might have saw like one title, but that's it. Now do you have it, Tony?
Yeah.
Cool. Whenever you're ready.
You just want me to read the whole thing?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So this is from Silver PR.
Mm-hmm.
Of course. So it says, as an initial note before you embark on this trivia journey I made for you guys, one thing I discovered was that the art of the ad blurb was heading downhill by the PS3, Xbox 360. Not many games were inspirational blurbs or were just too obvious for the game in hand. Not even adding the blanks were enough. So for the next trivia game, in honor of one of the recent episodes of the Giant Bombcast, I'll name any character. You guess the name, the game, or franchise. Until then, hope you have a happy Saturday and enjoy the guess game.
Thank you, Silver PR.
Number 1. Return to the golden age of gaming and embark on a nostalgia-laden Pixel Heroes quest across the vast 3FL landscapes and mysterious dungeons to save Dotnia from a legendary evil.
It's 3D Dot Game Heroes for sure.
Yeah. I saw 3 seconds in 3D.
Yeah. These are all PS3 games, to be clear. That's all I know about them. But yeah, is that 3D Dot Game Heroes, Tony?
Correct.
Excellent. See, we got one. This is fun. I get to play along now.
All right, number 2. 10 years after his heroic defeat of the Blanks, he has been betrayed, imprisoned, and sentenced to death under a conspiracy. On the very day of Blank's execution, terrorists detonate an experimental weapon in Ascension City, unleashing an earthquake that turns the city to rubble and wipes out its population. With the city in the control of a terrorist force whose goal remains unclear, the TASC have no option but to rely on a blank.
I know Ascension City. I've heard this. Do I, Tony Horvath?
See, here's the thing.
Yeah.
It's Ascension City just sounds too Resident Evil for me. But everything else isn't.
It sounds like some Japanese RPG bullshit for sure.
In other words, like a Tales game.
Yeah. And I thought maybe Tales is Hysteria, but no, that doesn't make any sense.
Can you say it one more time, Tony?
The whole thing?
Yeah.
Sure. 10 years after his heroic defeat of the Blanks, he has been betrayed, imprisoned, and sentenced to death under a conspiracy. On the very day of Blank's execution, terrorists detonate an experimental weapon in Ascension City, unleashing an earthquake that turns the city to rubble and wipes out its population. With the city in the control of a terrorist force whose goal remains unclear, the TASC have no option but to rely on a blank.
I don't know why my mind's going Residence of Fate, but I don't know what it is.
I feel like Residence of Fate is like the tier of JRPG we are dealing with. So that's a good guess. I don't know. I don't have anything. Do you have anything,
Scott?
No.
Well, this one is Bionic Commando, Capcom 2009.
Fuck. Is that really the plot of that game?
Yep.
Oh my god.
I wouldn't have known that.
Okay.
I think my brother played that game.
I know Nob should play that game.
Yeah, I hate that.
Infamously hates that game, yeah.
Number 3.
Okay.
When the powers of evil are at their peak, the Maiden of Light shall appear to destroy. Priere is out to prove that she is destined to become the next Maiden of Light, and let all those who stand in her way meet divine justice. Blank is a tale of betrayal and double-cross, monsters in human form and humans in monster form, set in an alternate medieval Europe. This unlikely hero is a smart-mouthed and undisciplined 16-year-old who just passed her exorcism exams, and her comrades in Blank, a demon hunting squad.
I've never played the games, but this sounds like some Drakengard shit. Is it a Drakengard game?
No.
Oh, damn it. What's the one Monster Hunter like game on the Vita? Is it that Freedom Wars? It's not Freedom Wars. That's all I got. Those are the only 2 guesses I have in me. Scott, an option.
I'm out on this one.
Yeah. This one's tough. Justin Graffius, who's listening along, is like, it was a game, that's for sure.
Yeah, this was a video game.
He says, man, this sounds so familiar. It was a game, that's for sure.
Anything now?
Nah, I'm out.
Okay. This one is La Pucelle Tactics
Fucking
by Nippon Ichi 2012.
Of course.
I've never
heard of that game, ever. I'm playing it tonight! I'm looking this game up. La Pucelle Tactics or whatever. I think that was the one I saw.
Pucelle.
I think that was the one I saw the name of, but I didn't recognize it.
Listen, dude, the Maiden of Light shall appear to destroy it.
It's very good. I don't disagree. La Pucelle Tactics. Holy shit.
How's that pro tag look? Pretty cool.
She looks like a 1990s anime character. She does not look cool. Let me follow up.
Let me look. Hey man, she got red hair.
She got red hair. Her hair looks like weird.
It looks like cartoony, like even more cartoony sprite Final Fantasy Tactics.
Yeah. All right, what's the next one, Tony?
All right, next one. When the other blanks threw a party, the protagonist wasn't invited. Scorned for the last time, the protagonist is exacting his revenge. Now they will pay with their lives.
Is this Naughty Bear?
Yeah.
Yes, dude! Never forget Naughty Bear. That's one I knew. Did you know that one, Nabashin?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Man, that's such a good fucking line to introduce a game if you replace the... When the other bears threw a party, Naughty Bear wasn't invited. Scorned for the last time, Naughty Bear is exacting his revenge. Now they will pay with their lives.
Yeah.
It's good shit.
It's good shit. If only that game was good, because it was such a good idea.
I got one more.
Okay.
Okay. The Dark Ages have become corrupted. Heinous creatures have emerged from underground. Townsfolk across the land are disappearing. Upon the promise of their fortune in gold, mercenaries Elara and Cadence take on the daunting task of discovering where the innocent villagers have been taken. Their journey will lead them on a dark and twisted path where they will encounter death, slavery, and sacrifice. Travel deep within the world of Calamore and to the secrets of blank.
This is the Secrets of Mana game.
Really?
Nope.
No,
No.
I don't think it's a
No.
mana game.
No, I'm backpedaling immediately.
I love that. Oh shit! Yeah, this is just
This is PS3 era.
yeah, PS3. Just another fucking JRPG that I don't know. Does it ring any bells for you, Nabashin?
No.
Yeah, I mean honestly, it's like fucking needle in a haystack situation with these. Yeah, I got nothing, Tony.
This one is Hunted, the Demon's
Oh,
Forge.
I played this game.
Yeah, I know. We all have.
We
I'm pretty
played
sure.
that game
I
together.
haven't played this game.
I think Tony and I played that game together.
Yeah, we definitely did.
Yeah, you absolutely did.
Holy
It's one of those.
You don't remember Elara and Caddick, dude?
I don't. There's like
You know,
probably
it's one of those. It's one of those games you said was kind of like what Deadly Premonition.
yeah. Well,
I had-
Just not
honestly-
as bad, so not as memeable.
yeah.
If I
it's
hadn't
not as
seen
memorable.
the... oh, hey, look. I found the message. It was in my junk.
Oh, there it was. There's
Oh, yeah. There are a lot more games in here. You only gave me some of them.
Oh, okay. Then that might have been what it copy and pasted over.
Yeah, I have up through the end of 5. Luckily, it didn't cut out halfway.
Okay.
And this goes all the way up through 9.
Excellent. I was like, I'm getting into this. I like this.
Yeah, if I hadn't seen the title, I would have known the game, but not been able to. So don't worry.
Okay. Yeah.
Even though I played it with you.
I forgot the names of those characters because it sounded vaguely familiar. I gotta go back and play that game. I was so excited about that game, and like that's a like swimming in sixes type game.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know.
Hold on. I think you made me play that game without telling me anything about it.
We might have.
Let me pull up.
It's Fantasy Gears of War. That's how they sold that game. Ugh.
So I can see the text larger than tiny letters that my email showed. Okay. All right. You guys ready for number 6?
Yes.
All right. When a power-hungry tyrant messes with the nation's oil supply, he sparks an invasion that turns the country into a war. You are not a soldier. You don't have to play by anyone's rules. You have your own code. You will fulfill the terms of the contract no matter what. Not everyone in the world of blank is as honorable. Everyone will try and screw you given the chance. They think they can get away with it, but they don't know rule number 1. Blank. Everybody pays.
Hitman? This is a Hitman.
Nope.
It seems like something like that.
Yeah, either that or a ninja game.
Yeah.
But I don't know any ninja games on the PS3.
It's like there's like 2, right? Well, no, there's more than 2. There's certainly more than 2, but
Definitely not Mark of the Ninja.
it's not Mark of the Ninja. What did you say, Nabashin?
I said just like the Ninja Gaiden games and Mark of the Ninja, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like Mark of the Ninja was not.
There's also like, isn't like, man, no, that was a PS2 game. I was saying like iNinja. It's a game I played in like middle school. Yeah, I got nothing, Tony.
This one was Mercenaries 2: World in Flames.
Fuck, man. Another game.
Made by
that
EA, 2008.
I played that game all the way through.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
Hey, dude, you don't have to play by anyone's rule.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a little hokey. I liked Mercenaries too. It was fun.
All right, number
You
7.
play a Serial Palin.
At some point I did, for sure.
What are we at now? Like 1 for 7?
I don't know. I got 2 of
No,
them.
2. 2 for 6 right now. That ain't bad.
Yeah, that's better than we've been doing in the past.
True for grace.
All right, number 7. Experience adrenaline-fueled cinematic thrills guaranteed to leave you breathless. Blank stars as an undercover agent and highly skilled driver who must infiltrate the blank underworld to gather intelligence surrounding a covert heist. Posing as a driver for hire, he ends up caught in the crossfire of corruption and chaos while trying to stay one step ahead of local law enforcement and rival gangs.
Need for Speed?
Driver.
Nope.
Nah, because I thought of Driver San Francisco as well, but I feel like the premise of that game would have really, really shined through.
Oh, Wheelman. That's what I'm thinking about.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's Wheelman.
It's Wheelman. Shit.
Because I knew it was like that Vincenzo game. I just didn't know what it was called.
Got
Is Wheelman like Jumpman?
it. He does the wheels. It's the one thing he does. I don't know. It sounds a little different, Scott. It sounds like there's more gangs involved in Wheelman. On to the next one.
Okay, hold on.
You're good. Wheelman. It's another one. Like, what was the PS2 launch game? Driving game. I feel like there are all these.
Batman?
Yeah.
Crazy Taxi.
Crazy Taxi. It's Dreamcast. I feel like
Best game on Dreamcast.
there are all these driving franchises that started and maybe had like one or two iterations and then
And they broke all their cars.
they just disappeared.
All right, number 8. Master time to become the ultimate weapon. Dr. Aiden Crone has made a time jump across the space-time continuum, a reckless act with frightening consequences. Now, a disturbing alternate reality has evolved within the bleak and rain-soaked Alpha District. Armed with the experimental Beta suit, you alone are able to slow, stop, and reverse the flow of time. Only with this ability can you lead the uprising to victory and put an end to Crone's madness.
Fuck. Dr. Aiden Crone sounds so familiar to me.
About the Alpha District with the experimental Beta suit.
Alpha District and Beta Suit are ringing zero bells right now.
What about the Zero suit? What do you think?
Zero Suit resonates for me for different reasons. Yeah, I don't know. You two got any guesses?
Time Splitter. Something.
No.
There's no way that it's Time Splitters. Time Splitters died way earlier.
Yeah, the Time Splitters 3, man. I'm still waiting on it. Or Time Splitters 3.
Time Split? Something. Not Time Split, but Time Shift. Something.
Time Shift. Ooh, is it the Russian one? Singularity? No. It doesn't sound like it. Yeah.
No, it is not.
I got nothing then.
This one is Time Shift, Sierra Entertainment.
You were close.
So in other
Dom.
words,
I knew what it was. I just didn't know the name.
Yeah.
It's some time game, Scott. All right, this is the last one, right?
All right, this last one is really hard. You ready?
Yes.
Do you have the courage to face your destiny? As a
Jesus.
deepening crisis threatens to plunge the floating world of blank into chaos, a band of unsuspecting strangers find themselves branded enemies of the state. With the panicking population baying for their blood and the military all too happy to oblige, they have no choice but to run for their lives. Join them on a desperate quest to challenge the forces controlling their fate and prevent untold destruction.
Final Fantasy 13.
Yeah, it's Final Fantasy 13.
That is so weird to hear that game described in that way, you know?
I was trying to throw you off by telling you it was hard when this one was the easiest.
Yeah. Interesting.
Oh, what's Final Fantasy 13?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Those are good, Silver PR. Those, I think, your best set yet. At least ones that I think some of us were familiar with. Let's take a look at the tweet. Is there any like closer that he wrote or anything, Tony?
No.
Okay,
At least not that you sent me in the email.
cool. Yeah, it wouldn't have been there then. Thank you, Silver PR.
That's so funny. I said that as a joke.
Yeah, dude, but it was real.
It was real.
I know, because you said it, and I was like, oh, shit, that is what it is. Because I thought it was a joke, too. We got one tweet from Nicole at NMH2105. How have you been containing your excitement over the Women's World Cup? Didn't know it was happening.
Same.
Sorry, we failed you, Nicole.
We don't really sport.
We don't know how to sports, okay? We're trying. And we're also misogynists. Not true. Not true.
Well, I mean, I think not. Like, we just don't sport.
Honestly, like, if you told me, it's what, 2019? If you told me, like, the Summer Olympics that were this year and we're starting in a week, I would both believe you and not believe you. That's happened to me before. But I think we did the summer ones. Summer might actually be next year. I don't know. I don't know anymore. I'll be real. I'm sorry, Nicole. She said in the chat, I know how much you love sports, Alex. I feel called out. Thank you, everybody, for sending stuff in, for tweeting at us, for calling us, for leaving us all these fine messages. We really appreciate it. You all can be a part of the show, too. If you liked what you heard, give us a call, send us a tweet, send us an email. It'll be fun. That's the end of the show. A couple of things just to remind everybody listening now that we're here at the end. Aside from that, you can write into the show. Follow us on Twitter at Irrational Pod, on Instagram, Irrational Passions. George puts a lot of work into the social media for the site, for the show. And you'll see when the show posts, when we're going to be live, when we're recording, if we have to like change schedule on Saturday and record on Sunday, for example, you'll know. Follow so check out the other stuff that we have too, like Video Game Book Club, Input. Working on some new stuff too that will hopefully be coming out soon. But if you're not already, check out Irrational Passions Presents. Rate and review us on iTunes or Stitcher, Google Play, Spotify, wherever you listen to the show. Rate us there. Share it with your friends because it helps us out a lot. And for everything else that we do, irrationalpassions.com is the place to be. Let's settle some bets. Let's start with this week's bet. It's time for bets also.
Yay.
Let's start with this week's bet. Which basic, simple bet. We're coming off all these E3 bets that we're about to kind of to rack up here. But let's start with the new bet. How many Twitch viewers will the game Samurai Showdown have this time next week on twitch.tv? This is the game as a whole. So I would expect this to probably be a lot.
How many viewers?
How many viewers will the game Samurai Showdown have this time next week on Twitch?
Like in total? Or?
In total. So like when I go to Twitch and go to the game list page and it shows like the game and how many viewers it has.
For that time, not just like not in total of that time.
Yeah, at that. So like this time next week when we're settling the bet, and I'm gonna pull up Twitch. Samurai Showdown comes out on Tuesday, I believe. For point of reference, so looks cool too, man. It's been a while since there's been a Samurai Showdown, correct?
Yes.
All right, I can start us off. Get that. I want everybody to just take a moment. Get that number in your head. How many viewers total? Could be thousands. Could be hundreds. Could be nothing. Could be everyone. I said 23,000. Option? 11,000.
Uh-huh.
No, he said 11 as in 11 people.
11 people. Scott?
Go with 10. Only the people who made the stream are going to watch it.
Just 10, not 1,000. Just 10.
Just 10.
Got it.
I was going with 6K.
6,000. Nice. Cool. Let's settle some E3 bets. And, you know, I'm not here to argue with people, okay? We're just going to go through the bets. And there are some that we don't have an answer for yet. We will do those later. But they shouldn't change any of the results.
Listen, dude. All I'm saying is that if if you're gonna try and tell me that there are non-sick jumps that are actually sick jumps, we're gonna have a problem.
We're not talking about that today. So luckily, nobody's telling you anything. Okay, so we're gonna go through the editorial bettors first. Each of these bets were worth 2 points. And let's go through. So, do we want to do Tony and my teams first because we did Scott and Nomishin last time first?
Sure.
Cool. Logan, his bets were: will we see Wario or Waluigi Rabbit at the Ubisoft press conference? He bet no. Answer is no, which is good. Just 2 points for us. He said, will the name, the next bet was, will the name Sam Fisher be spoken? He said no. It was. So, in a very unfortunate way. Mike Burgess, his bets were, will Rayman dance? He said no. He was right. Which is sad. I was sad, but he was right. Will there be a revival of a franchise that hasn't been seen since before January 1st, 2010? He said yes. He was hoping that it would be Banjo, and technically Banjo was there. But the one that I counted was Microsoft Flight Sim. But
yeah.
there were certainly other ones, I would say. Or there's probably at least one other one. Georgia, our last team member.
What was the actual question?
The actual bet? Will there be a revival of a franchise that hasn't been seen since before January 1st, 2010?
Oh yeah, there's also Commander Keen.
Commander Keen, yeah, it's another great one. Good pull, Tony. George's bets. Does Yves Guillemot say rendition? George said yes, he did not. That was just a random word. He fucking fell into my trap. Will a game character burp during the Microsoft press conference? George said yes. I didn't see anyone burp.
Me either. I think I said no to this.
Yeah, I think you did too, Tony. Which means we got 3 out of 6, which is not bad. 6 points. Scott Nobshin. Jarrett was your first team member here. Will Lightning reveal herself in any way? Jarrett said no. He was right. At the Bethesda press conference, will there be an apologetic synonym spoken when talking about Fallout 76? I'll defer to you with this on Nobshin. I feel like there was. No, there's no like sorry or any apologetic synonym.
No, they didn't say sorry. They just said this is what we did.
Okay,
and we have a lot of criticism from it. That's all he said.
Okay,
he did not say sorry. He said there's been
well-deserved criticism. Yeah, that's all he said.
Okay, cool. I counted that, but that's fair. Then no. So Jarrett said there would be, and there was not.
Man, there was one dude in that audience that was real excited.
For ESO? Yeah, that guy was fucking hard.
Man, they paid him a lot of
money. Jess's bets. In the Final Fantasy VII E3 trailer, will it take more or less than 30 seconds until we see Tifa Lockhart? Jess said yes. The answer was more. She was revealed at the minute 30-second mark. What'd you say? She said less.
I thought she said less.
No, she did say less, but Tifa was not revealed in less time.
Right. Okay. I got confused what you were saying.
Oh, you're good. I'll try and be clear. Her next bet was, will the Doom Marine fist bump? She said yes. He did not. I was bummed about that. Scott White's bet, will Big Boy slip? He said yes. I think there was certainly at least a minimum of one slip.
Was it a big boy though?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cyberpunk, the guy with the arm,
he slipped.
He absolutely slipped,
and he was a big boy. This was a really interesting one. Will the Microsoft conference feature more or less than 5 games with a female protagonist? Scott said less. I said that there were at least 5. There were a couple that I'll ask you guys about. Tales of Arise has 2 protagonists, 1 male, 1 female. I counted that. I don't know if you guys would count that.
So you're probably wrong about that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm going to say No.
Okay.
The reason being is Tales games generally either have a heavy main focus on one person, or they're more like or they treat him more like how they do, I want to say, Jude, where he's kind of the main character, but then again, not really.
No, so like in that game, you can play it as Jude or Mila, and you will see different things. So I would count that game as having it. But you're right, most Tales games don't give you the choice.
They either do that, or it's the main protagonist, quote unquote. His presence is so weak. At the very least, it is the party's big enough for it to not matter.
The other one that I counted that maybe, so that would bring us down to 6. The other one that I counted that maybe wouldn't count is Borderlands 3.
No.
No, not Borderlands.
No,
okay.
that is the heavy protagonistic, unprotagonist game.
Okay, you would put that in like a creative character camp.
That is a no protagonist game.
Okay, I mean, like those characters are named, they have personalities, and they were male and female version ones for like characters.
They do,
which is why I counted it. So
like, I would give Tales more of an edge than Borderlands personally.
Okay,
right.
So that would put us at 5 exactly then. Because it was Gears, Ori. I'm not gonna be able to think of all these. I don't know why I started listing them off like I could. There were 5. There were possibly 7. With those 2, it's 5. So
and the bet was 5 or more.
Will there be more or less than 5?
Oh, and they said more. Give them 1 point.
They said less.
Oh, they said less.
And there's exactly 5.
Give them 1 point.
1 point seems fair. Because we didn't necessarily account for the third option of it being exactly 5. So I'll get that. I feel like 1 point's fair.
Did we count Outworld as one?
Outer Worlds? No. That's a creative character.
That's what. Okay, good.
Yeah.
And then what about Outriders?
Outriders? I have to look at. I don't remember what Outriders was. That the? No, that's a different game.
Because that's another creative character one.
If it's a creative character, I didn't count it.
Right, but it's one of those ones where
I didn't.
It's kind of like Borderlands, because Borderlands isn't a creative character one, but it's also not a protagonist type story. Yeah. But they very heavily lean into the female characters on just about all of them.
Yeah, I didn't count that one either. I didn't count the weird war game Crossfire. I didn't count that either.
Did you count Bleeding Edge?
I might have counted Bleeding Edge.
Because I wouldn't say that one either.
I don't remember. I did count Ori. Ori is female. I did count Gears. Kate's female.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think because I had I should have written them down. Because it was 5 that I felt really confident in, and then those 2 that I didn't feel confident in. But anything that was like create a character or like not even like you choosing from a list that would include female and male characters, then I didn't count it. But we can maybe come back to that one if we have to. Quinn was a wild card, so he had 1 bet for each team. Quinn's bet for Nobishin and Scott was, will Banjo reveal himself? Quinn said no. And he was wrong.
But did Banjo reveal himself, or was he revealed?
He revealed himself.
Okay.
Will Arcane's next game have a shotgun? Quinn said yes. He was right. Excellent. So those are all the editorial bets. Those are all worth 2 points. Then we have our bets, which are all worth 1 point. How many different characters will we see floating/flying in the Marvel Avengers premiere trailer? The actual number was 7, which puts Nobishin the closest.
Was it 7?
It was 7. 7 different characters.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, there was 3 enemies. Thor, Iron Man. No, there's 4 enemies. Thor, Iron Man, and then Taskmaster was also flying on a jetpack at one point.
Okay.
Yeah, which was. I feel like we thought that might have been able to go either way. That was honestly more than I thought it would be. So that goes to you, Nobshin. So that's 1 point for Nobshin and Scott. How many times will Mario jump? The actual number is 16. These jumps did not have to be sick or not. They were just regular jumps. I'll say so. There's like a 5-second clip, or not 5 seconds. It's like 10-second clip of Mario Maker, and he jumps 8 times in that clip, and I was like, "Fuck!" They really made it up on this one. That one's for me. I bet 20 on that one. That was a fun one because we had a good spread on that, so I really didn't know which one was going to go. Sorry, I'm also writing down tallies for all these. Sick jumps we're not talking about yet. We'll talk about that at a later date. We're more ready to talk about sick jumps. How many times will Link slash his sword? I just realized I didn't include. No, I did. Never mind. I was worried that I didn't include the things outside of Link to the Past, but I did. The number is 14. Tony was closest on this one. He bet 12. I think we all won at least one bet, which is cool.
I still really like my reasoning for what the bet that I made. I was just thinking in my head of the Link sounds,
Yeah.
And I just bumped together 3 sets of Link sword thrust sounds.
Yeah, it was a little all over the spot. I mean, obviously, A Link to the Past had most of not Link to the Past. Link's Awakening had most of those, but there was a part where I thought the trailer ended, and then he goes into the the make it yourself dungeons, and he slashes 10 times in there. It's like, fuck. All right, how many Gokus will we see? We saw 2. Regular Goku, Super Saiyan Goku.
I think I was closest then, right?
Tony had 2.5.
2.5 Gokus.
Half Goku. Really wish a half a Goku did show up in some capacity, but
I mean, we could say the fire, not the fire, but the Dragon Quest characters is a third of Goku. But
1/3 Goku. Yeah, fair enough. How many games? This was a fun one. Not fun to find the answer for, but fun in general. How many games in the Kind of Funny Games showcase will be shown with a top-down or isometric perspective? The actual number, 17. Which there are a little over 60 games in there. 17's a lot. I was closest. I said 10. Scott had 6. No, that was a different one. Scott had 3. Tony had 1. Nobshin had 4. You all didn't believe.
Nope.
How long into the Microsoft press conference until there is a trailer that is cut to the beat of bullets firing? I'm the only one who got points on this because I was the only one that said anything. But all of these,
I don't think that one that you're thinking of counts.
So the Gears of War.
No, that didn't count. Straight up,
that one
count.
Definitely counts.
It does not count.
Absolutely counts.
No, that's just a trailer that has loud music in it.
No, the gunshots at one point in that trailer are cut to the music.
I think that's coincidence, but
but there's another game, the Hellblade guy, their one, the Ninja Theory game, also has a laser or something shot to the beat of the music, which to be fair is not bullets, but
was it a laser?
But that Gears of War 1 absolutely counts. I think the Crossfire one might have also had that because that's all that trailer was. But I've only watched that trailer once. I couldn't tell you. And all of you said that this wouldn't happen. It did happen in other press conferences as well, but it definitely happened in Microsoft's press conference. And you all are just a bunch of non-believers. First Pokemon to go big. Scott was right. He was right, you.
Was it?
It was right. it was like Scott said that one because it was the first one that went big in the original trailer. It was totally them showing those clips again.
I don't even think I was right about it, but
yeah,
it was one of the earlier ones.
Yeah, they only showed 2 big Pokemon in the direct, and Raichu was the first one to go big. Oh, it was beautiful though. So the ones that we don't have an answer for,
since that one's not an either or, I'm claiming 2 points for that one. Fuck.
I'll give it to you. That was like a guess the Pokemon, and you guessed Raichu, and you were right. I'll give you 2 points.
Any other guess would have just been a toss out.
Yeah, I said Pikachu, and Tony said Pikachu. I was really hoping for it, man. That would have been good points.
I mean, isn't Pikachu technically a Raichu?
No, this is definitely a stretch.
No. I'll put it this way. If I didn't get it right, you'd have gotten 2 points because you both had the same one.
It's true. We would have.
I would have given you a close enough due to the nature of the bet, but I won.
Yeah. You won, Scott. You earned those points. The ones I don't have an answer to yet that we're still working on: sick jumps, which we will discuss at a later date. How many total?
How many did we bet?
So far, I went through the Microsoft one, and I went through the Nintendo one,
and Devolver.
The Devolver. So far, that
10.
came out to more.
You
it's
said
6 plus 4 for Pedro only, and there was 2 for the game before, so it's 12.
Okay. Then so we bet. I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, then if it is 12, then it doesn't matter. An option got the point. It doesn't matter if there's any more. If it is, if it's 10,
it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, then at that point that's fine. We'll just give Nabshin the point. Nabshin said 15. So that would put him closest. The next closest is 7. So.
And is there any more?
After
15?
Nope. 3, 2, 7, and 15 were our bets. Me, then Scott, then Tony, then Nabshin. Nabshin believed in the jumps, and he got them. The two that I don't have. During the PC gaming show, how many games shown will be Epic Games exclusive? I don't have a number for that. And then how many Stadia logos will we see through the press conferences? I don't have a number for that yet either. But let's see, we can total up these points. Tony and I definitely took it. It's so from our team members, we got 8 points, Tony. And then we each got 5, so that brings our total to 13. Nabshin and Scott, from your team members, you got 5 points. And then Scott got 2, which is 7. And Nabshin got 2, which would put you at 9. Which is honestly not that far off. And with 2 more bets, if you guys get 2 more points, we would just be 2 away from each other. That's actually pretty good. We'll see though. I don't know who's going to win these other 2 bets. We'll figure this out at a later date though. Okay. Cool. That's so with those points in mind though, we can update our total point scores. So that brings Team Bout to Bust a Bet up to 20 points. And that brings Team Double It Down up to 19 points. Which is still so close. And I might figure out a way to give editorial members points on their points for their team, just so that way they can get up a little bit.
Yeah, because at this point, like if they're not included in these special ones, they don't stand the chance. Period.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a way.
The only other way that I can think of doing it is that the total winner of I want to say each of their bets is worth like 5 points until they get up, until it covers what the winner got.
Yeah, that's fair. I like that.
So
yeah,
we'll figure that out later, of course. But
we'll make it so that they can actually catch up. Cool. That's it for bets. We're done. So bet totals just one more time. Tony and my team About to Bust a Bet, 20 points. Scott and Nabshin's team doubling down, 19 points. Pending 2 additional points, we will see if the rankings change. That is the whole show. Thank you everybody so much for listening. Thanks everyone who tuned in live and hung out with us and chatted along with us. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Nabishin, for joining me as always. I love you all. Big hugs all the way around. Thank you, Danny Weiser, for opening music of two-player co-op and our closing music of The World is Saved. I hope you all had a good time. This is a good show. I feel good about this. I don't feel good about Evangelion, sick jumps, and bets, but
I feel great about sick jump.
good. As long as you feel good, Tony, that's all that matters to me. Thank you all so much. We love you all very much. Play your games. Oh, wow. I almost didn't say my name. How could I? We love you all very much. I've been your host, Alex O'Neill. Play your games. Stay irrational. We will talk to you all next week.
Danny Weisner.
I already said, I said Danny Weisner. Don't worry. It was in there.
Titles. We got Tearing Through My Socks. I Am Wolf. Wolf is I. Incoming Sick Jump, and The Maiden of Light Will Seek to Destroy.
Yeah, that's a good one. The Maiden of Light will seek to destroy you. I gotta play this game, this Puella Tactic game.
Hell yeah.
Whatever.
Puyo Tactics.
Puyo Tactics.
This is Irrational Passions, whatever. Puyo Tactics.
Yeah, I think that's fine. Puyo Tactics. Tony, Scott, you guys do it. Somebody say Puyo Tactics. Somebody say what episode?
This is the Irrational Passions podcast, episode 429.
Puyo Tactics.
Wait, I don't think I can do that, right? Because we don't have separate tracks, so you can't talk over me right now.
Yeah.
All right.
Good.
This is the Irrational Passions podcast, episode 429. Now we're good.
Good catch, Tony. Saving me a headache later on. I appreciate that.
I know. All I do is look out for you, and what do I get in return? No!
You get my undying love. Thanks everybody for watching. Have a good night or evening. The sun's still out.